Yeah, it was a tough game. We started the game really well, and we restrict the Swans to only a point or something. I think at quarter time was a terrific effort and get the game in our control. But as you'd expect, when you're playing in the last couple of weeks of the season, last 3 weeks of the season, you expect that you're going to have a fight at some point in time, and that certainly came in the third quarter. That 300 gamer got a hold of us for a little while, and he's just an outstanding player. And we'd been able to keep him in reasonable sort of check in the first half, but he just exploded. And another young bloke called Kennedy hurt us a little bit. He was outstanding too. So we're lucky at three-quarter time we were able to rally the troops a bit, and they responded in the right manner in the last quarter. So it was a great effort. Very similar way the game panned out tonight as what it did last week with the St Kilda Sydney game too. You know that Sydney got out to a flyer, and then St Kilda tried to draw them back. It's always hard to play catch-up footy, particularly in finals. And our effort in the first half to set the game up was really important for the win. Well, he convinced himself he was going to play as soon as he had the scan that said all the structures in his knee were fine. We weren't so certain because, you know, it's just like the general supporter that watched the game last week. You know, it looked the mechanism of him landing looked very awkward, and it didn't look too promising there for a while. But he knew as early as Saturday that he was a chance to play. It took until Thursday for him to convince us that. But our docs and specialists and that looked after him throughout the course of the week, Pete McCoy and Andrew Russell in particular, they were just outstanding with all the. You know, he had to do a whole series of tests nearly every day, in a sense, to just see how it was coming along, and they did an outstanding job. And full credit to Buddy. In some cases, it was it's good enough to get yourself ready to play, in a sense that you're fit enough to be able to play, but then the mental burden of actually preparing yourself has been forgotten a little bit, in a sense, because there's so much he's preparing himself physically, but to come out and make a contribution. He wasn't the most outstanding player on the ground, but he ended up kicking 4 goals and was really dangerous all night for us. And yeah, we were really pleased with the contribution that he made.
Al, how much did you think you'd be able to use him? Was it really wing it and see how it went?
No, he was really confident. We did a bit of a run yesterday. I think it was yesterday morning, and yesterday morning before we came to the G to train, and I looked at him there, and so did Andrew Russell and our doc, and said he's going to be right to play. So he wasn't inhibited at all by the leg, and we didn't. I mean, not that many people do put jabs into knees. Under no circumstance were we going to put a needle into him. So if he couldn't train and do what we wanted him to do yesterday morning, then there was no way he was going to be able to play. But as I said earlier, he decided on Saturday that he was going to play this week, and the full credit to the lad. His preparation for this game was extraordinary. We're over.
You worried last week. You worried about the midfield, and you were concerned by that. For most of the game, you were good, but the third quarter they got hold of you. Do you come away just content that you got on top for those 3 quarters? Does it worry you that they were able to monster you a bit in that third term?
Oh, it's hard to say because we worried them in the first half. In the first half we were terrific, and they were. The thing about getting to this pointy end of the season is you're coming up against quality sides, and you're talking about Adam Goods, he's just an outstanding player. Mumford in the best 2 or 3 ruckmen in the competition, and the last month has probably been together with Nat Nui and Cox probably the form player in the competition in terms of ruck. And at some point in time, it's hard to keep them down for 4 quarters. So, I thought our effort, I think we kicked 5 goals from centre bounces tonight to Sydney's 1. So, whilst at different stages they got a hold of us, it didn't always equate into scoring for them, which was fortunate for us. But they're just a quality side, and with particularly those guys through the middle of the ground. And I thought that over the course of the night, we probably won that battle in terms of scoring, albeit for a period there in the third quarter, they were outstanding.
Is that one of the big differences between this year and the previous couple? It just seems like this year, when you're challenged, you're able to hit back, within the course of a game and turn it around again when you sort of lose momentum.
Yeah, well, I think we've just got a greater depth of players. We've been able to inject a lot of young players into our group over the last 12 months, and a lot of those guys were playing their first final last week, and they didn't perform perhaps to the level that they would have liked, but nor did some of our senior players. We had a lot of blokes down last week. Some of that was due to Geelong. Some of it was due to us not being able to play well enough. So had a lot of proud boys that wanted to correct themselves a little bit with their performance today, and I thought we did that. But I think we got a good range of depth, and the young fellas that we've injected into the side have really given us some real enthusiasm and really helped us get to a preliminary final. We all start even now, as good as Geelong and all sides have been throughout the course of the year. Everyone hits the starting blocks even next week. We know that Collingwood have been in outstanding form, but at the start of the game, she's 0-0, and we'll give it a crack.
Well, you've pulled a major finals upset in the last few years already, haven't you? So.
Yeah, well, you get to this point at the end of the season and anything can happen. And as you know, good teams are really hard to keep down for 4 quarters. So that was the case tonight with Sydney. We got to hope that we can try and dominate a game against the Pies next week. But that's going to be tough. They've been an outstanding side for a long time, but we'll give it a good go.
You stuck with Shellmakers. Last week he struggled, and you probably retooled a bit in the way you set up across the back. Were you a bit worried that you were going to lack for run coming out of the back line with Stratton there as well?
Well, if you watch Stratton play, he can actually give a fair bit of toe and run. He had to play a little bit more of a negating role. They played, especially in the first half. Goods played forward a fair bit, so they needed to play negating roles for us. But I thought it was a really good comeback from Sherry tonight. He's played on Reid, kept him to 6 touches in the goal, and he's been an outstanding nick for him in the last little while, Sam Reid, and I thought Sherry bounced back well. I reckon he's unfairly criticised last week. There's a lot of reasons why he was monstered. 69 inside 50s doesn't help any defender, particularly when you're playing against big brutes like Ottens and Hawkins and West and these type of guys. So, we're really pleased that he bounced back well. We had genuine belief that he could do that, and he played well in a final, which is really important for his confidence, and he'll move forward. He's an important part of our future.
How would you rate Josh Gibson's game? Do you think you've given Collingwood something to think about tactically in terms of how you use him and how Sydney were unable to stop him dominating the game?
I don't know anything about the tactics side of things. All I know is he made a really important contribution to our victory tonight, and has been a really important contributor for us over the course of the whole year. And we'll recover from this game tomorrow morning. Look at the Collingwood forwards. They've got some big power forwards, and Sydney had some big blokes down there as well. They started the game with 4 talls. Was one of the reasons why we brought Stratton into the side. So Gibbo will have one of those big brutes next week, and we'll see how he goes. But he's been a really important contributor for us this year.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.